Hello. Welcome to the
Our first
and Joanne show. Today we are talking about the historical protests that are going on in Cuba, and I wanted to do this live primarily in English so that people understand what is happening, caballeros. This is one of the most historic days that we have ever seen in Cuba.
moment.
No, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, and I want to give an opportunity for people to jump in the live really quick. We are definitely not prepared for this. Look at my hair. It's crazy. But we feel like it's so important to talk about what is happening in Cuba, especially in English, to all of our followers. And for people who aren't following us right now, subscribe. Wherever the link is. I don't know. We're not YouTubers, so we don't know where the link is.
Está para allá.
I can't see the chat. I cannot. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
Hello.
Hi,
okay,
Renee,
you guys.
querido,
I'm gonna
welcome
wait.
time.
We're gonna wait a little tiny bit for some people to jump on the live. I know it's kind of. This is unprecedented in Cuban history. I cannot stress it enough. What a historical day this is, or yesterday.
Estamos transmitiendo desde la capital de los cubanos.
Estamos
en
aquí
estos
en
momentos
Miami. We're here in
del
Miami.
mundo. Yo creo que esta es la capital de la calentura.
Sí, es verdad para los cubanos, sí. We are in the center of it all in Miami. We just happened to be here this weekend.
It was crazy.
For my birthday, we had a voucher from Delta Airlines that was about to expire. And I was like, hey, let's just use it in Miami. And then we're staying at a friend's house. And it's been great. Okay. Yes, we are in Miami. Yesterday, Joanne went to his very first protest. What do you think? How did you feel about protesting for the first time?
Increíble. Era algo, para mí era algo sobrenatural, porque también vi a mis amistades protestar, que en Cuba eso no se veía hasta ayer que se vio, y me uní a mis cubanos desde aquí.
He says that he felt amazing because his friends were there with him. We had all of our friends there, and he's never been able to do that in his life. So we are so excited to be able to share with you guys what is going on in Cuba and our perspective of what's happening in Cuba. I feel like this was God. No fue Dios que no puso aquí para estar. I can't believe this is happening while we're here. I'm just wow.
We happy. Now, guys.
So let me explain. Yo quiero hacer esto en inglés porque muchos de los seguidores hablan inglés.
Okay.
Y bueno, después de esto vas a transmitir en inglés, ¿me entiendes? Va a estar en YouTube siempre, para siempre, en inglés.
Forever.
So I'm going to talk about this in English. Thank you guys for all your birthday. If you guys have any specific questions on what is happening in Cuba, please let me know in the chat. But I'm going to do a quick overview about what's been happening. So just a little bit about me, though. I study political science, and political philosophy. My concentration was Latin American studies with a focus on U.S.-Cuba relations. So I have a lot to say about this. So let's get back to the historical historical background. As you guys all know, for 62 years, the Castro regime has been ruling in Cuba, and there has only been one government in Cuba, and that has been the Communist Party, the Partido de Comunistas.
Hi, Midge.
Hi, Midge. Thank you so much, Midge, for your super chat. So a little historical background. And what was I saying before was that, that the Communist Party has been ruling one-party system in Cuba for 62 years. Fidel Castro came in a revolution. He took down Batista, which was also kind of a bad figure as well. He would also repress people with different types of opinions. So it's only ironic that the Castro regime would do the same that they did, that for the reason why they took out the other guy. But when that, history repeats itself, as we have learned many times around the world. And so for 62 years, the Communist Party has ruled Cuba, and there has been no freedom of elections, and no freedom of speech, no freedom of the press, no freedom of assembly, absolutely no critique of the government. And any single time there was a critique of the government, people would get jailed. And that is not an exaggeration. It is not a lie. People would get jailed immediately. And when we were living in Cuba, we went to a gay rights movement protest where we saw them getting arrested right in front of our faces. And I did a whole thing about it. And so that's a little bit about the background. So let me explain everything that is happening up to this point. Now, the mainstream media has said that this is a result of COVID. And I am here to tell you that and the embargo. That is absolutely 100% false. Okay? And I'll tell you why it's false. Because these protests that you have seen in Cuba are a result of many years building up, different instances that have built up. But we can point it to a reference point in modern day Cuban history with the 27 de Noviembre movement, which is the San Isidro movement. Now, a lot of you guys don't know what the San Isidro movement is, and I will explain to you. The San Isidro movement it's actually a barrio.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah, so much. The San Isidro is a neighborhood in Old Havana. It's called San Isidro, and there it lives a lot of artists, a lot of and I'm sorry if you're just getting on the chat. I'm explaining everything in Spanish, and then Joelle will jump in English. The San Isidro movement is where a lot of artists, a lot of creatives live, and in the Constitution, they took away the freedom of artists to create their art and sell their paintings. Now they have to go through the Ministry of Culture to get their paintings approved so that they could sell it. Now, artists were very, very pissed off about this because they said it's a lack of artistic freedom. It's a lack of their art, right? It's a disrespect on their art. Then they have to get it approved by somebody. So what happened was that on November 27th, a rapper named Denny Solis was forcibly removed from his home for protesting against this movement. As a result, the most famous dissident in the island, his name is Luis Manuel Alcántara.
Y Ferrer.
Well, that's another person too. But Luis Manuel Alcántara was one of the most famous dissidents on the island, did a hunger strike. They removed him out of his home. On that day, the 27th of November of 2020, was it? Yeah, 2020. There was a huge group of maybe 1,000 young Cubans who went to the Ministry of Culture and protested their rights. Protested their rights of free speech, their rights of artistic creation, expression, and they were there, right? The Cuban government squashed them the next day, saying that they were paid for by American imperialists, the American CIA, and they're paid mercenaries by the American government, which they continues to do every single time that there's a dissident. That is the strategy of the Cuban government to say they're paid by the CIA. I have been accused of being one of those people.
Thank you, driver.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for the super
the people
chat.
asking for Cuba now. Forget that.
No, I'm giving them historical background because it's important so you guys understand. So that build up, right? When they squashed the opinions, then Luisma went into another hunger strike. That's a whole other thing. And it just kept building and building and building. Then boom, the pandemic hit. They don't have any food. There's no food in Cuba. It's extremely expensive. Cubans get paid on an average 100. They raised the salaries, but they also raised everything else. So they get paid around $100 a month. But 1 pound of rice costs $4. 1 pound of rice costs $4.
One Nutella is $15
for Nutella.
$15 for Nutella.
You can't survive off of that. Imagine spending, 25% of your salary on rice. That's not even including meats or everything else that you need to pay for. So all of these things, the inefficiency of the Diaz-Canel government, the inefficiency of the Cuban government, the introduction,
back forward,
the introduction of internet in Cuba, the introduction of major American tourism in Cuba has all contributed to people changing their minds, changing their psyche, seeing the world. Oh, well, if Americans can come here on vacation, why can't I go on vacation? Things like that, right? Thank you so much, Greg. And so the Cuban psyche has changed and evolved in the last 5 years that I have never seen in my life.
In my life too.
In my life, because you have to remember, for 62 years, 58 years, the Cuban government was propaganda, state news, and that's what everyone knew. There was no outside influence. So the internet has changed dramatically the situation in Cuba. And so then, then what got us to this point, ironically, was Mia Khalifa, which was a porn star, I guess. I mean, no judgment. That's not my right to judge her life. And she has millions and millions and millions of followers. And she finally said, Diaz Mayel, you are an A-word asshole. And it kind of like catapulted this little bit of a movement. Like all the celebrities started saying SOS Cuba, used the hashtag SOS Cuba. We have people around the world like Daddy Yankee. Thank you, Donaldo. You know what? Every single dollar counts, you guys. We take a lot of our time to educate you on this. I could not do my video. I wanted to do the video of Joanne, his first protest live today, but our computer broke. So I got to get that now. My external hard drive broke, or the connection broke. So, I got to buy that one new now.
Okay.
Anyways, okay. So it started this movement where all these celebrities started getting on the ball, like Residente, Calle 13, Daddy Yankee, Ozuna, Don Omar, Shakira.
Todos los famosos.
All of the famous people started tweeting about Cuba. The next following day, which was yesterday, Joanne and I woke up to the most beautiful thing.
The most beautiful day in fucking Cuba. It was yesterday. Yesterday, people go outside, asking for freedom, asking for go to the Cuba for the fucking government. We saw the end of the dictatorship, Cuban dictatorship. We hope the end.
It's making me
because I saw my family dying, believing the communism, dying, no food, no have nothing, no have medicine, nothing. And these fucking people in the highway, in the high top, say, this is embargo. You see your fucking belly?
Okay, try not to use bad words.
Sorry, it's because I'm so,
I'm just
sad, angry. Thank you, Alexander.
Thank you, Alexander. Oh, thank
Sorry
you,
for
Alexander.
the kids, for the ladies stay here in the chat for my words. This is true.
I have been focusing on content all day on Instagram, mostly because it's harder to do on YouTube. And I haven't had a time to
That's right, babe. That's right.
I just haven't had a time to cry.
She cried for her family, her grandma, her grandpa, for all this family gone. This 65 believe the revolution
My grandpa was a political prisoner in Cuba.
Yeah.
And I wish he was here to see.
Nobody knows that history. You know what happened now in Cuba? I go to the friend. He's staying in the hospital. No, now he's staying home because maybe he lost the eyes. And he told me the government here say the Facebook WhatsApp, YouTube, that all like is because United States government have Autobot and putting that shit. What the fuck?
Let me explain that. Let me explain that. I just want to say, like, you guys have no idea what this means. Yesterday meant to us. I never thought that I would see this in my life.
That's right, babe. It's fine.
I
It's
never
fine.
thought I would see it in my life, and I can't believe we're here in Miami.
Because you coming to the Cuban people, you have your blood. You have the Cuban blood. That's it. And the freedom. That's what wanted you here.
There's so many people dead in those 90 miles. There's so many people dead.
Dying.
There's so many families that have been ripped apart. There's entire
Reach the
diaspora.
life.
There's
Yeah.
entire diaspora that lost their culture,
Reach the life.
that lost everything. And
I have the friend.
it's just, this is such a beautiful day for us, and we really need, I want you guys to know, and I'm sorry I'm crying, it's very emotional, but I want you guys to please, we need the international community. We need the international community to finally recognize the dictatorship in Cuba and put pressure on Cuba to finally listen to its citizens. We need you. We need the international community so much. So please share. Please, if you can, follow me on Instagram or follow any other Cubans on Instagram and share what's going on. We need the help of the international community. And so yesterday was very emotional. Joelle and I went to Little Havana, where they usually do all the protests, and it was Joelle's first protest. He was so emotional. He cried. Many people were crying, and the most beautiful thing is that there was also Venezuelans there. There were also some Americans, non-Latino Americans that were there taking pictures, and it was just beautiful. It was so beautiful. So thank you guys. So let's talk about today, Joel. Today is another day. And that was all yesterday. And today's another day. So I'm going to give you guys a kind of an update of what we know. Don't trust famous people or the American government backing the Cuban revolt. Okay. Pajarito. I've been getting all these like crazy comments that I'm a gusana, that I'm paid by the United States, that you guys, it's unreal. The extreme leftists that are, and the bots that are created by the Cuban government to oppress what is going on in the international community, of all the Cubans in the diaspora that are saying, we need to recognize the dictatorship. They create bots to silence us. Literally, I am not joking. There's college kids that are forced to post things on fake accounts. Okay, they're forced to. This is not a conspiracy theory. Like in college, they make you do this, ¿verdad? And to make fake, so that on the internet it looks like that we're the ones that are crazy and we're the crazy people or whatever. And most of most of the population is on board with. Oh, can I have one? Of communism. We're not YouTubers. This is very, organic. We're not YouTubers. Oh my gosh, KG, thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys, for the super chats. Thank you. And so let's talk about today. Today we woke up. Last night I went to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at 7. I'm very tired. That's why I look like this. Very tired. And they put the military in. They started shooting at people, you guys. That has never happened in Cuba. They started shooting. Oh my gosh, Peter.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much, Peter. And Emilio.
And Emilio, what?
Gracias, gracias.
You lost
I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. Last night, the military went in. They started shooting innocent people, innocent protesters, peaceful protesters. Remember, in Cuba, nobody has guns. Nobody has guns in Cuba. So they were shooting at peaceful protesters on the street. Multiple people got shot. They started gassing people. My friend was literally live on the internet, live. She was getting gassed. That Shayla got gassed on live TV, live internet. So they started doing, you know, very typical what governments do, very typical things, right? Is try to scare people with guns and pepper spray. And so people, after that, people went home to go to, you know, to go to sleep, you know. And so they woke up in the morning. All of the streets are militarized. All of the streets are militarized.
For kids, in some way.
Now in Cuba, oh my God, this is why it's like they cut off the internet.
Cut on the internet.
They cut off some phone lines. They wouldn't not let any leader of any protest, because if you follow the Cuban scene, dissenters, there's a few dissenters that are very well known. They wouldn't let them outside of their houses. There's no internet. Go ahead.
Quitaron la internet, you translate again. Quitaron la internet, me dijo una fuente dentro de La Habana. Confío mucho en esa persona, que quitaron la internet porque decían que el gobierno americano tenía robots poniendo videos, like, cosas así.
So what they're
dijeron eso, que quitaron
so the
internet también.
Cuban government that has the monopoly.
Thank you, Mr. Spin. Thank you, Jeff.
Oh my God, thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Mr. Spin.
Acabo de comprobarlo ahora, me lo dijeron hace ni 10 minutos.
So they just said, in Cuba, because remember, the Cuban government is the only body that has been monopoly on information and the news, what's being translated, broadcasted in Cuba. They're saying that they took away the internet because there were American bots trying to get this, that there were American bots trying to say things against the revolution, right? The same thing that they do.
Yeah.
They were accusing us of being bots and being paid by the American government to take down the Cuban revolution and to take down the Cuban government. That's what they were saying to the Cuban people. And I tell you right now,
thank you, Chris.
To all 448 people on this live, I tell you right now, most Cuban people in Cuba today do not want this government, correct? They do not want this government. They are calling for the end of the revolution. And most people, because I will not say it's all, because no society is 100%. Most people want change in Cuba. Most people. And they were screaming it to the top of their lungs that they want change. And we need to listen to them. We need the help of the international community. We need you guys.
Militarizaron todo el país.
They militarized all the pieces. And now they are forcing, listen to this, you guys. Now they are forcing 16, 17, 18-year-olds to go into the military. Like a draft here in the United States, like they did in Vietnam. They're forcing 16-year-olds to go to military service out of their homes today. And their parents are trying to defend the military from getting them with knives. With knives. So they won't take their children away.
That's happening now in Cuba.
It's just so fucked up.
That's not happening in Cuba. And for me, it's really bad because I have my family there.
It's so fucked up.
I don't care. I don't care. It's not going Cuba again. I see my family, but this is the truth. We're gonna fight. We fight for the truth. For the truth. That's important. And the Cuban people inside, he need to know we continue outside. Protests here in all world, Spain, Italy, Latin America, Puerto Rico, Nicaragua. Mucha gente está a nuestro favor que saben lo que pasa en cubano y las mentiras que les meten y siguen metiéndonos mentiras.
I'm
Thank you, Luz.
I don't know who 454 of you are. Maybe one or two people know who I am personally. but this day is so emotional for me.
Y hoy estoy luchando no por mi familia solo. I'm not fighting with my family alone. I will fight for my own family. He's passed away. That military people, communist, my family I was family communist grandpa. He died for nothing. For nothing. I thought it was, he said, I don't want my daughter, I don't want my mom, I don't want nobody, my family, my neighbor, have the same situation that my grandpa do it. Living for nothing. We live for liberty, we live it for future. That's the way to do it. That's a Cuban do it.
Gracias.
Go to the street, say, go for the freedom. I don't want it to military nothing. I don't want to fight. I don't like it to fight. We go peacefully.
We believe in peaceful protest.
Peaceful
we
protest.
do not want this to escalate into violence. I do not personally agree with American intervention, but I feel like this has to come from the people. It has to come from the people. I'm just very emotional today. I wish my grandfather was alive.
I know. That's why he's really, really happy today for this day in Cuba.
He would be so proud. He would be so proud.
Los descarados del gobierno cubano quieren seguir haciendo lo que da la gana. Se esconden.
Yes.
Nadie sale, ponen a poner al cabeza.
I just want to say one thing. I just want to say one thing para todos los cubanos que me están viendo ahora mismo. A mí no me importa si te gustaba Trump o si te gustaba Biden o si eres republicano o demócrata, no le importa, no le importa. Todos hoy tenemos que reunirnos para terminar la dictadura, todos. No importa si seas demócrata, si seas republicano, si te gustaba Trump, si te gustaba, no sé, un marciano en martes. Ahora tenemos que reunirnos por una Cuba libre, por una Cuba sin dictadura. Tenemos que reunirnos, caballeros. Esto no es sobre política americana. Esto es sobre política cubana. Okay. Anyways, that's what I wanted to say to the Cuban people, is that in case you didn't understand me, like, it's not about the American political system. It's not about Biden. It's not about Trump. It's not about if you're Republican or if you're Democrat or anything. Today is about all the Cubans getting together and recognizing that we all have one common goal, is to end the dictatorship in Cuba, so that there's free elections, so that one day Cubans could have a Republican or a Democrat party or whatever the fuck they want to call it, parties. Whatever the hell they want to call it, parties. I'm sorry for the bad language.
Thank you for everybody in Latin America is asking for freedom to Cuba. Thank you for everybody.
Gracias por todo el apoyo alrededor del mundo. Gracias.
That's right.
Thank you for all of the support around the world. We are two people in Miami, and I wish one day that we can uplift Cuban voices inside of Cuba. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I am doing that. I'm trying my hardest to uplift voices inside the islands, because it's very easy that we are talking here, but our friends are getting shot. They're getting rocks thrown at. They're risking their lives, and they deserve the credit for all of this. We are here and just trying to tell you what is going on, to tell the international community what is going on. Bueno.
Nada, eso era. Cuba está caliente, no tenemos comunicación, no hay internet.
No, there's no internet.
No hay internet. Aquel que se conectó es porque está usando un VPN. Tengo una amistad que lo hizo. Está usando VPN para poder salir de esa oscuridad mental digital que pone el gobierno cubano, que son unos descarados, que siempre lo ha hecho, que el noticiero es una real mentira, los engañan siempre, y la gente está cansada de las mentiras del noticiero.
We are two people with different opinions. There's some Cubans that want American intervention. I would not like American intervention.
Not yet. No. I don't know what I agree with that.
Permanent change in Cuba has to come from the pueblo. Yeah. Has to come from the pueblo. It needs to come from us. It can't be the Americans, because in 20 or 30 years from now, we're going to have a cycle all over again where it was the Americans' fault. But to be permanent change in Cuba, we need it to come from the pueblo. Now, of course, there's people that disagree with us. And I am saying right now to 459 of you, I am so happy to live in a country where we can disagree, where we can have disagreements and we won't be scared to disagree.
Y los que están conmigo hoy, mis amistades que llevan casi 4 o 5 años, my friend have here 4 years ago. I'm so happy that here my friend said, freedom for Cuba. When I never do it in Cuba, we can do it in Cuba. We know how is this country, how is the world outside to Cuba. That's why I stay here and say, people to Cuba, go to the freedom. That's the only way we have the best and the future. Not for the dictatorship for Diaz-Canel or the Castro family. That people live outside, go to the party, go to the vacation. We are nothing in Cuba.
Yeah.
I live that and we are nothing. And the police people, I know I have many police people, good people. Man, we are smart people. Don't believe in that fucking propaganda in Cuba. If you see me now, I don't care if you don't go, tell me go inside to Cuba again or not. I don't care. But man, think about it. You are Cuban people too. That's right.
Do you have any questions for us? I also want to reiterate, and I want to say this very clear. We are in a we are so grateful to be in a country where we can have differences of opinion, you guys. We all have to remember that. If you're on the right or you're on the left, we all have to remember that we have to respect that not everyone has the same opinions. And it's okay. And that should be celebrated in this country.
Estamos en Nicaragua, Manuel Ortega, armies sniper to Cuba. They left this afternoon assassin to Cuba people. I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Yo no he oído eso.
I hear that, but I don't know if it's true. I don't know. Many people say Raúl Castro is London in Venezuela. I don't know too. I have picture, but it's picture. How no
May, empieza una recogida de fondo para armas. No.
Ya lo hizo y le pasó algo malo.
Armas para
no,
armas.
Yo pensé que eran alimentos.
No.
No. Para armas no.
No.
Yo no apruebo la violencia. Para mí la violencia es el último método.
If anyone wants to follow any Instagrammers, Geek Cubano is amazing. He hosts a Twitter. Geek, like, nerd, Geek Cubano. He hosts a podcast. It's like a Twitter Spaces on Twitter where it's live people talking. And he hosts Cubans inside of the island every Friday. He's probably going to do one tonight. He did one yesterday that had 1,300 people, and the U.S. Embassy was in it. CNN was in it. It was crazy. So if you guys follow him on Twitter, his name is Geek Cubano, like, geek nerd.
Thank
Cubano.
you, Mexico.
Gracias, México. Gracias, Nicaragua. Gracias, Brasil.
Yo no quiero razonar.
Yo
con la dictadura no quiero razonar. Solo quiero que se hable y hay muchas vías para llegar a que la violencia, las muertes sean menos. Porque una intervención militar llegaría a un conflicto de guerra o de combate y eso causaría muertes innecesarias. No creo que sea the best moment for that. We need to wait, guys. I understand the frustration. I understand all that happened to me side, but we are friends, we are family inside, and the bullet don't see the friend.
And so that's what's been going on. If there's any specific questions, please let us know. We don't have a lot of time today. I want to thank every single person who has given us a super chat. Your money helps. The money that you guys send us on super chat really helps us create this content, have the time, get me a new external hard drive that now I need, because you broke it. Thank you, DB. Gracias, Luis. Gracias, Peter Chen. Gracias, Alexander.
The Greek
Alex, Migdis, thank you too.
Tampoco la dictadura tiene que irse, no se dialoga, no se razona, es irse, punto. No queremos dialogar con ustedes. Dialogar es para que se vayan.
Gracias,
no
Puerto Rico. Gracias, Puerto Rico. You guys, we need your help. We need the international community's help. We cannot let this die. It's been 62.
Thank you.
Read the super chats. I didn't get a new one. I don't know if I got a new one or not. Did I get a new one or not? I don't think so. We need the international community. We need the international community. We need you.
Para que vean la verdad de lo que está pasando ahora en Cuba.
We cannot go 62 years. We can't go another year longer without this. $25. Oh my, thank you. Oh, I shouldn't have said the number. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I fumbled.
Nah, guys, that's
Have you talked to your families at all today? Yes, we did.
No. My family's okay. My stay is okay. I feel bad.
Everyone's fine.
It's calm, but it's fine.
Our friend, I'm not gonna say his name, but our friend was beaten up pretty bad.
Yeah.
And he's not doing very well.
We call more later about how it's happened with him.
Yeah, he's got beat here. He got beat in his eye.
Yeah, he's in Havana. He
lives in Havana. Oh, you guys can see the number? Oh.
Okay, sorry. Oh, thank you, man. Sorry. I don't like I said.
Thomas Fleming, there's one thing to have the international community help us in raising awareness, and it's completely different when you want intervention. Those are two very different things. We want, Joanne and I are in agreement on this, is that we want the international community to put pressure to understand what's happening in Cuba. That does not necessarily mean that we want,
don't believe in
people to bomb Cuba.
Don't believe in the Ministerio of Relations, ¿cómo se llama? Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores en inglés?
External relations.
External relation to Cuba. Don't believe in that people.
Don't believe in them.
That people is fucking bad people.
Yeah, they
don't believe in nobody. That live and putting the billions in this big.
Oh my gosh, Luis. Gracias, Luis.
Thank you, man.
Oh, we would love to be in Texas. We have that's our number one requested state, is to go to Texas.
Let's go to the cowboy.
And then we'll do the cowboy. Okay. Joe, thank you so much, Joe.
Okay, that's it. That's the way we'll do a live.
Okay, so any last questions? We're gonna do them really fire quick, because I'm gonna be on TV. They're doing
the lady, the report.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Guys, we're
gonna be at Versailles. If anyone's in Miami, it's later on today.
Puerto Rico, that's it. In Cuba, the protests continue. Now on this hour, I hear that. I don't know what happened, but we don't have internet.
Thank you, Arkansas. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. What can we do to help? Really, honestly, just share. Write to your congressman that we need just the recognition of a dictatorship in Cuba. We need humanitarian. The U.S. to allow humanitarian ships to go to Cuba. That's what we really need. Humanitarian ships to go to Cuba. Ask, there's people willing to donate food, willing to donate medicine. People are dying on the streets. They're dying.
Yeah, and
funny. There's nothing.
It's funny. Díaz Canal says we can podemos oír las personas qué problemas tiene. Y yo decía, ¿será hijo de puta este? Llevan años la gente protestando, quejándose. Mi casa lleva días sin agua, de 10 a 15 días, de 10 a 15 días. Y nadie tiene el fucking valor de ir a protestar allá.
He said 2 weeks without water, and no one has the courage to protest because people are so scared of protesting.
Va y protesta y es la misma fucking mentira.
You go to protest, it's the same lie.
Y ahora que se le está cayendo el techo, vamos a hablar, váyase para el carajo.
Well, you didn't go protest while you were there, so you can't say that.
No, that's why.
Okay, so don't say that.
Because then you're the
hypocrite too.
I know.
Oh, Chris. Chris, do I know you? Thank you, Chris. I think I know you, Chris. But thank you. Missed you in Downey. Yes, we were in Downey. Puerto Rico. I saw Democrats in Puerto Rico with the Cuban people. Thank you, Puerto Rico. Won't the government intercept food or use it for propaganda? Brian, they have done that before, but this time around with so much international pressure, if we send a huge ship to Cuba with food and donations from the American people, if they reject it, I think that's gonna be very bad for them. That's gonna be very bad for them if they reject it. I'm gonna be on some local station here in Miami. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, and I gotta go in like 5 more minutes. We only have 5 more minutes. Thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, guys.
Amir.
American Patriot, support Cuban people. Thank you.
Thank you, Florina. Oh my God, these people, you guys are so nice to us.
You
guys are too nice to
us.
us.
That's good
Thank
idea.
you so much.
Call Oprah.
Call Oprah. Some call Oprah.
I can't speak. My throat.
You know what we need is Elon Musk to put satellite internet in Cuba. That's what we need. We need, because they cut off the internet. Or we need the U.S. Embassy to create an internet line inside of Cuba and to create an internet Wi-Fi hotspot on the Malecon so people can have access to the internet near the U.S. Embassy in Cuba. That's what we need. If that's anything that Biden can do, is create a free Wi-Fi zone where the American Embassy is in Cuba.
Thank you for the people. He support us. Really, thank you.
I just hope that all people from Cuba will stay safe. We need Elon Musk to give internet to people that live in autocratic regimes like Cuba and Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Uzbekistan, North Korea. Imagine if all of those places that have autocratic regimes had free internet from the satellite. He would do the world such a great thing. Thank you, Clean Team of New York. Thank you. What happens when there's revolution? I pray the people with their complete freedom. Internet was a game changer. Internet, you guys have no idea how much the internet has changed Cuba. No idea.
That's happened yesterday.
The internet, listen, if it wasn't for the internet, the protest that started in a little neighborhood in Havana wouldn't have grown to the entire country.
Yeah.
It literally grew from every single major city in Cuba had a protest. There's actually a map of it, and it was the most beautiful thing you could ever see, right? What would Joel like to see in terms of government? ¿Qué tipo de gobierno te gustaría ver en Cuba?
Progresista.
¿En qué sentido?
En todos los sentidos.
¿Pero en qué? Dime algo.
En lo que es el desarrollo, Mari. Primero tienes que... el desarrollo...
¿Qué tipo de gobierno que tú quisiera ver?
Mira, quiero una demócrata.
He wants a democratic Cuba.
A ver, busco un demócrata diciendo democracia. No estoy buscando que sea como aquí, demócrata.
Yeah, democracy,
democracy. Yes. Y que piensen que la población es lo primero y que le den los derechos al pueblo.
And have to give rights to people.
Yeah, because when you raise the people, la gente trabaja, crea, y eso hace que tu país, tu sociedad crezca.
Yes, if you give people rights, then your country can grow more.
Ellos solo quieren ver las ideas que quieren ellos, no lo que la gente piense. Las ideas de ellos son las que valen.
As a Cuban American, what's the best thing we can do to support our people? Well, still says I'm a Cuban American. And the best thing that we can do to help is just to share the diaspora, the Cuban American diaspora, people who have your families were born in Cuba, or your grandparents were born in Cuba, or whatever. The Cuban diaspora is so critical. We all need to unite, you guys. I don't care if you're left or you're right, or you're Republican, you're Democrat, you like Biden, you like Trump, you like Mickey Mouse, Vaya. I don't care. Today, we all need to unify under one cause, is to end the dictatorship. Because dictatorships are unacceptable. And dictatorships are unacceptable. in any form. They are unacceptable. Anyways, I gotta go, guys. Thank you so much for joining the live. I gotta go and get a little bit ready for the interview. Oh my gosh.
We continue tonight with checking the Cuban people.
We might do another live tonight. If you guys, please let us know if you would like another live tonight. Say yes or no. Would you join the next live?
Ya yo no puedo hablar más. De hecho, si sigo así, pierdo la garganta mañana y no.
Bueno.
Ya yo, mira, no
He
puedo
can't talk, like he's so out of it.
Ya estoy fuera.
Oh, I know. I have. Clean your shirt, Mari. I know I have the stain from the deodorant.
Bye, guys.
Bye. I told you we are not YouTubers. This is not professional. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, everyone who gave us a super chat. Thank you. That's so unbelievably kind of you. It helps us with all of this. Gracias, patria y vida, abajo la dictadura, que viva Cuba libre. Y bueno, ciao. Everyone go watch the music video, Patria y Vida. Patria y Vida. There's a song for our call today. Patria y Vida, song by Orishas, Yotuel. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Oh, I don't want to leave them. Okay, bye-bye. I gotta go.
That's it.